It's time for another edition of Coach's Corner with women's basketball coach Matilda Mossman.
Hello and welcome to Coach's Corner with the head coach of TU women's basketball, Matilda Mossman. I'm Bruce Howard, and Coach, we're going to kind of review the last three games, and Arkansas on the road, you get a big victory for victory number one. How special was that?
It was really good. You know, I spent some time early in my career at Arkansas, so just going back there and different arena, of course. You know, when I coached there, we were in Barnhill Arena. Now they're in the 19,000 seat Bud Walton. But it was fun being on the road playing against an SEC team. We had an 18-point lead at one time. Things were going right. They had a little flurry in the last 2 minutes and 10 seconds of the game where they cut into the lead, but we were still able to come out with the win.
And so that one was big time to get the win on the road, and you continue to be the travelers. You go on the road to a tournament in Las Vegas, and again, two very competitive but close losses. That's got to be tough.
Well, the first game was against Drake, and their preseason pick to win the Valley, and they return 4 starters from last year's team. Lizzie Wendell is their preseason player of the year in the conference, so we knew we were going to have our hands full. But then we go out and we score 80 points. We have 6 people in double figures. It's hard to believe that you can score that many points and have that many people in double figures and still lose a basketball game. But they shot the ball really well. We actually led at different times in the game, but we just couldn't get stops when we needed to.
And then, of course, you play the next night, and you're looking to pick up, go 1-1 in the tournament, and you lose by 1, in the second game.
Yeah, that was kind of a heartbreaker. We had battled back and forth, had the lead, didn't have the lead, got off to a really slow start, got behind early, and had to really fight to come back in the first half, and then got down again in the third quarter and really had to fight. And then we took the lead with about 25 seconds to go, and then they went down and hit a tough shot with about 13, and then we come down and we end up dribbling it off our foot and lose possession. Well, then you have to foul, and because there weren't many fouls called in that quarter, the fouls reset every quarter.
Sure. So
you don't get to shoot free throws until you get to 5. Well, at the point where we had to start fouling, we'd only committed like 2 fouls. And so they enter the ball, you foul. Well, that takes a couple seconds off the clock. And then you have to enter the ball again, and we foul. A couple more seconds come off the clock. So, it just, that was just kind of a heartbreaker that we lose in the closing seconds like that. But in all the games that we've played, in the 6 games that we've played, we've been in different scenarios every single time. Different combinations for us to play. Some games we've had to play small. Some games we've been able to play big. We've had to adjust our lineup based on the other team's lineup. So I have to think that that's going to help us down the road, that we've faced a lot of different matchups, and we're going to see different matchups when we get into conference play. So I really think that will help us going forward.
Well, and you've had a chance to win every game, right? You've had a lead in every fourth quarter.
We have. I mean, we've been right there. But sometimes you just have to be lucky, and we haven't been lucky so far. So even a couple times where I can remember in games where maybe we would hold them for 5 seconds, till 5 seconds on the shot clock, and then somebody just throws up a prayer and it goes in. Well, that's unlucky.
Right.
Or maybe we do something and we get a breakaway layup and we miss it. Well, that's unlucky. So we just haven't been lucky so far, and that's tough. It affects your confidence. It affects your self-value a little bit. So we just really got to get back in there in the practice floor and attack what we do and get better.
Assuming then you didn't go to the slots after being unlucky in Vegas.
No, if you're unlucky on the court, I'm going to assume you're got to be lucky on the slots. And I'm not a gambler anyway, but there was no way I was going to take any quarters to any slot machine.
Well, the Hurricane, of course, are returning home, and in a moment we'll return with more on Coach's Corner and talk about Grambling State coming up on Wednesday at the Reynolds Center.
Our core values form the foundation of the American.
Competitiveness,
passion, character.
They show our true colors on and off the court.
Respect,
accountability, chasing greatness.
They lead us.
Discipline,
focus,
trust.
They are the essence of our identity.
Family, tradition.
We are the American Athletic Conference.
Now let's turn our attention to a home matchup against Grambling State coming up on Wednesday, Coach, and an opportunity certainly for your young ladies to get back on the winning track.
It is. You know, it's going to be good to get back home. We've been on the road a couple of times this year, and both times we got back really, really late. And so kids, that kind of wears kids out a little bit, but now we've been home a couple of days. Having a home game on Wednesday, and it's not on a football Friday night, so you know that shouldn't affect our attendance, and it'll just be a chance for us to get some redemption a little bit. Anything
surprise you about the early season? I don't know, like an Erica Wakefield coming in and averaging 12 points here earlier. Any surprises that you weren't expecting?
Well, I think the good surprise has been the play of our two post players, Tajay Scales and Crystal Polk. I mean, they have come in as freshmen, and they've had to take some lumps early. And Tatiana Perez, another freshman that's playing minutes for us, she's had to figure things out, on the fly. So I think the play of those three freshmen make us feel good about the future. Erica Wakefield has done a superb job of just running our offense, handling our team. Early in the season, maybe Ashley and Kelsey weren't getting points that they normally get. I think Erica filled that void, and so she's a dependable kid. She doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and so that's been good. The people around those guys, we've got to get those guys playing at a higher level. We've got to have some help on a night that like at Arkansas. Kelsey was just defended by two of the quickest players on their team. They just took turns at her, and they weren't giving her very many touches, much less opportunities to shoot. She wasn't even catching the ball. So she became our best defender that night because she wasn't getting touches on offense. And so then other people stepped up around her and did some scoring, Erica being one of those. So, within that, our other team members need to step up a little bit more and, get us those points or get us those rebounds, get us those defensive stops. But that's where we're really lacking right now, is getting defensive stops when we need them. Our blocking out's a problem right now. We're continuing to address that. So if we can get some things fixed at the defensive end, I feel really good about where we are from a scoring standpoint.
Well, Coach, you're playing the same number of minutes, but 6 games in, I want to get your opinion on the 4-quarter system. What's that been like?
I like it. I like the fact that we get that timeout after 5 minutes, and then we get the long timeout between the quarters. It gives you a couple of extra possessions in a game where if you have the ball in the last 30 seconds, it gives you a chance to play it out for the last shot. I like advancing the ball. We've taken advantage of that a couple of times this year. The rule changes so far, I think they've been good for the game.
Well, Coach, good luck on Wednesday against Grambling State, but you also have a home match coming up on Sunday against Indiana State, right?
Right. We have Indiana State on Sunday, and then looking ahead a little bit, we have Oklahoma next Wednesday during the week.
Absolutely. So some home games for the University of Tulsa women's basketball team coming up. We hope to see you out here at the Reynolds Center. That wraps it up for Coach's Corner. For head coach Matilda Mossman, I'm Bruce Howard. So long for now.